Guys, what's going on? Welcome to Cereal at Midnight. My name is Heath, and in this episode we're talking about new releases. I managed to, why do I pick it up and like hold it and show you? Why do I do that? Because it's real, because that's what's happening. Authenticity! Guys, welcome to Cereal at Midnight. This is a new release video. Here's the thing. I'm gonna pull back the curtain just a little bit. I don't think this stack is big enough to do a Fresh Flavors branded video. So we're just going to do some new release chat. And because there's less stuff in the stack, I have a little bit more time to talk about each thing instead of just being like, this came out, and this came out. And then the video is still an hour long. So let's just jump right into it. We got stuff from Warner Archive. Finally, the return of Cereal at Midnight covering Warner Archive. What a banner day. Smoke them if you got them. Arrow Video, Classic Flicks, The Film Detective. We got so much good stuff here. Viavision out of Australia. So let's just jump right into it. I want to kick it off with Warner Archive coverage specifically because I want to start right here. Angels with Dirty Faces on Blu-ray at last. So it's the Christmas season as I'm recording this video. Everybody's watching Home Alone. The movie within a movie in Home Alone. The videotape that Lil Kevin is watching that he shouldn't be watching. Angels with Filthy Souls. Is totally an homage, sort of a tribute to the Warner Brothers gangster movies of the 1930s. Particularly, the title, they're almost the same. Dirty Faces, Filthy Souls, it's almost the same thing. So young Heath that saw Home Alone in the theater thought maybe that was a real Warner Brothers movie. Because, you know, we're coming out of like Dead Men Don't Wear Plaid, right? When they would incorporate real movies into fake movies and stuff like that. And I was like, is that... So my parents, I think, were like, no, it's actually an old gangster movie with James Cagney called Angels with Dirty Faces, and it's really good. And I was like, well, I have to see this. So I think we checked it out from Blockbuster, if I remember correctly. Again, it's been... Wow, that was 31 years ago. Or around that, you know. Because I assume it would have been right after we saw the movie. Wow. So we check it out. We check out Angels with Dirty Faces. And it has like this whole redemptive arc, right? It is a gangster movie, but it's got this redemptive arc. And I was like, what? No! Really, did not like it at all because I wanted Scarface. Like the Eddie G. You know, yeah, see? I wanted James Cagney to be like, I'm going to give you to the count of 10 to get your yellow, no good keys off my property before I pump your guts full of lead, see? 1, 2, 10. That never happens, but it's okay. So because in the decades since I saw that, I have come full circle on I love the Warner Brothers gangster movies now. They are so good. You recognize certain studios for excelling at certain things, you know. And Warner Brothers, this kind of movie, the gangster movie of the 30s, it's just what they were made to do. Universal horror, right? Warner Brothers at that time doing this, and it's so good. James Cagney, Pat O'Brien, The Dead End Kids, Humphrey Bogart, come on. So good. So this has one of those Warner Brothers night, what do they call them? I just want to make sure. Leonard Maltin hosts Warner Night at the Movies, 1938, with a newsreel, a short film, a music short, Out Where the Stars Begin, a cartoon with Porky Pig and Daffy Duck, the theatrical trailers for this, other theatrical trailers. There's an introduction. I think it's a 4-minute introduction with Leonard Maltin about Angels with Dirty Faces. I love that. You know, it adds like 30 minutes, maybe 30, 40 minutes, something like that to the running time. And it really does create this listen, you turn the lights out, you get you some popcorn, and you just enjoy it. It is going back in time. It's amazing. I love that Warner Brothers continues to do this. There's a featurette on here, Angels with Dirty Faces. What do you hear? What do you say? 20-something minutes, I believe. Commentary by film historian Dana Poland. And an audio-only feature, the radio production of this of Angels with Dirty Faces with the film's 2 stars. So here's what we were talking about this in the Patreon. There's a Facebook group. It's a private Facebook group just for the top level Patreon supporters, which is $7. The top level Patreon supporters, we're having this conversation about like when they include the audio, like the radio play versions, do people watch those? And I have, but usually not, because, you know, I have so much volume, right? Listen, let me tell you, kids, it's a volume business here at Cereal at Midnight. I have so much volume, I rarely have time to like linger on certain things, but I have in the past. Do you guys enjoy the radio plays? Who listens to the radio plays out there? I think it's very cool that they include them, especially because it's a different thing. It's not like they just took the audio from the movie. It's a whole radio production. It's a script. The actors come in. They would do it, you know, kind of live to tape, I guess, or live just in general. Because TV's not a thing. You know, actually, you know, TV. We're getting close to it. TV's was invented in 1939. I think television was first experimented with in 1939. Caught on, you know, later in the 40s, and by the 50s, everybody got one. So I think it's cool, but I want to know what you guys think. So I'm taking too long on Angels with Dirty Faces. I want to move on. By the way, no reviews here. This is not a review video. This is a new release video. But keep your peepers peeled to CerealAtMidnite.com, because I got a lot, right? Like, I got a lot to say about this stuff. It taps into my passion. Sir Walter Scott's Ivanhoe, also from Warner Archive. We've got Robert Taylor. We've got Elizabeth Taylor. George Sanders. With that unique delivery. That's not, no, that was terrible. Forget. Okay, so I haven't seen this. I'm going to be honest. I haven't seen this movie before, and I'm particularly interested in it because I do love the Ivanhoe story, the book, the legend. It's like a cousin of Robin Hood, sort of tangentially to Robin Hood, and Robin Hood is the movie I credit with launching my film fandom in the first place. Discovering, you know, Robin Hood, Prince of Thieves in 1991, and like that's the first movie where I was really paying attention to like the writer, the director, the editor, like I was the composer, and then that takes me back to Errol Flynn. You know, at the same time, I'm like, oh, this Robin Hood's great. Discover Errol Flynn. This is a 1952, I believe, version of you know, medieval, trying to save the throne for Richard the Lionheart, who's off in the Crusades. Robin Hood's kind of in it, right? Very cool stuff. So this has oh, by the way, I should say it was nominated for 3 Oscars, including the Best Picture. So special features include the Oscar-winning Tom and Jerry cartoon, The Two Mouseketeers. I know that cartoon very well. I grew up with that cartoon. I think it's very cool that it's here. You know, I guess kids aren't really watching cartoons on TV anymore, right? They're watching the TikToks. Hey, Billy. Well, first of all, it's not Billy. It's like Payson. Are you watching the TikToks again? Get off that Twitch TV and watch your cartoons and eat your broccoli. Cartoons, you know, they were never for kids anyway, right? Cartoons, especially at this time, they were for anybody that showed up to the movie. It wasn't like pandering for children, which is why I guess some of them have aged like they're adults only, you know, like, oh, we can't show them that cartoon. It's too naughty. Anyway, theatrical trailer is included on that as well. I really am excited about this. The Naked Spur. So Jimmy Stewart, it's an Anthony Mann movie. No, Jimmy Stewart was in a lot of westerns with Anthony Mann. Now, maybe when I'm older, I'll be able to do a better Jimmy Stewart. Anthony Mann and Jimmy Stewart did a ton of what I wrote them down because I didn't want to leave any out. In the 50s alone, the 50s is the golden era of the western. Why? Because you have the influence of noir. We're able to finally tell the story. We're mature enough as a society. Film is mature enough at that point that we can tell gray morality. Heroes don't wear white hats. The bad guys don't always wear black hats. They can really play around with the themes of these things. And they're a reflection of who we are at that time, the society, the McCarthy hearings, with the post-World War II, so much stuff. It all ends up in the screen and in between the lines of the script, right? So Anthony Mann and Jimmy Stewart together, Mann directing, Stewart starring, Winchester 73, Bend of the River, The Far Country, The Man from Laramie, and of course, The Naked Spur. That's just the movies they made together. Then you've got Man of the West with Gary Cooper. So much good stuff to talk about. I love this stuff. I love these westerns. So finally, The Naked Spur has arrived on Blu-ray. James Stewart, Janet Leigh, Robert Ryan, who is like, in my opinion, I just associate Robert Ryan with noir because he's one of the great noir performers. And he just had that look. You know, he had a noir look. Grizzled, sometimes shifty, you know. Ralph Meeker is in this as well. We've got a vintage Pete Smith specialty short, Things We Can Do Without, and a classic cartoon, Send Payson out of the room to get on the TikToks again, because we're watching a Little Johnny Jet, and it's got the theatrical trailer too. So 4 reviews. I don't have to say 4 reviews coming for every one of these, right? You got it. Like CerealAtMidnite.com. It's coming soon. Let's talk about, this is, okay, The Abbott and Costello Show, Season 1, from Classic Flicks, restoration by 3D Film Archive, Bob Furmanek, and team and crew and associates. This is, I mean, I don't want to tip anything. I'm seeing over the next couple of weeks, I'm going to be doing like my favorites of the year. And will this end up on Heath's favorites of the year? It will. It is amazing. Now, Classic Flicks has been very good to Abbott and Costello. We've got Africa Screams. We've got, I'm not going to go down the catalog, but they've been very good to Abbott and Costello. And this is a show that I think a lot of us, so it's 1952, you know, early TV. We're talking about the era of the honeymooners, of I Love Lucy. You got the Abbott and Costello Show, and I think that no one ever thought that this would be able to be restored. And according to Bob Furmanek, the luck, right? The luck of being able to find the film negatives in the condition that they're in was like, it was amazing. It's like unprecedented. So they were able to save. There's a feature on here. So I'm going to say we got Saving the Negatives, a featurette with Bob Furmanek. Commentaries by Lou. You know what? I'm not even going to read all these. A ton of commentaries, including Gilbert Gottfried does a commentary here. Gilbert Gottfried. That's terrible. Why do I try? You know, you try because you have to try. You miss 100% of the shots you don't take, kid. The original non-audience tracks for 2 complete episodes and 6 partial episodes. It is amazing. So I'm watching season 1. I'm going to be honest with you guys. I wasn't in a great mood. I'd had kind of a rough day. It was gloomy outside. I had worked like a dog. And I pop on, this shows up. I pop on the first disc. And within 2 minutes, because there's opening credits, right? You know, tonight on the Abbott and Costello Show, and then they come out and they start talking, and within 2 minutes, I was laughing out loud. Not like, but like, like laughing out loud. These guys were so funny. That holdover from the vaudeville days, that live performance aspect that we have gotten so far away from. And I don't know that we're ever going to get back to it. So funny. Good. I'm going to say there's going to be people who are seeing this and be like, is that old? It is old. But you know what? Good comedy, good anything. It's ageless. It doesn't matter. And in many ways, this is more, I don't know if like provocative's not, it's edgier than some of the stuff in our mainstream entertainment. It's edgy. It would do things with a wink. And you got it, and you just went on, right? It's just so good. So I'm obviously it's a full season, right? How many? There's 3 discs worth of stuff here. I think it's 24 episodes or something. 26 episodes. I'm 4 in. So I'm doing my best with this app, but I just wanted you guys to know, in the time between now and the full review, this is available now. It has been really snatched from the jaws of time, you know, like it is one of those Indiana Jones style rescues of something that is so cool. As I've been talking about it on social media and with our supporters and stuff, I've gotten so much positive feedback from other people who are tremendously excited that this is out as well. So I don't want anyone to miss this. This is available at Classic Flicks and in a variety of different places, but show some love to this. If you're interested in this, I will say this. I know that restorations like this cost a lot of money. And I believe this was successfully crowdfunded, right? So the importance of the people supporting releases like this is not an Amazon release. This isn't even a studio release. This is people. This is fans saving something and then putting it up for sale so they can, you know, recover what they spent. Support it. That's what I'm saying. Support. It's important for you to support this. For us, I'm in the boat as well. It's important for us to support stuff like this because it really does live or die on the backs of us and what we choose to support. So funny. And I've got a lot more to say about it. Review coming soon. Let's talk about Arrow Video. What a hard switch in the gears here. Giallo or Giallo. 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 Giallo Essentials. I don't know what that accent was, but it's not intended to be offensive. This is 3. So there's 2 sets. I don't have the first set. There's a red set. These are from Arrow Video. Giallo. Giallo Essentials. They're not listed as like volume 1 or volume 2. There's a red set and there's a yellow set. So I got my hands on the yellow set, and I'm told that the red set is on its way to me. But I got this right now, so I'm going to talk about this. Now, if you are a diehard Giallo fan, you probably already have these movies. They are some of the most famous and praised of the entire Giallo cycle, because it's not really a genre, right? It's kind of a cycle. It's like noir. It's not necessarily a genre. It's a cycle. It was like, you know, it happened and it was over. What have they done to our daughters? To your daughters, I'm sorry. What have they done to your daughters? Torso and Strip Nude for Your Killer. So this is sort of a limited edition affair. 2K restorations for these movies. The limited edition has, you know, I better check this out and make sure that I can show. Yeah, I think this is okay. Yeah. So what if I took it out and I was like, I had to start the video over again, 16 minutes in. So this is the box, you know, it's really the box, I guess, that is the limited edition. So I'm not going to read all, you know what, I'm going to hold this up. You can freeze frame that. Looks like it's pretty clear to me. I think it focused. Doesn't always focus. I think it did. But the limited edition contents, it's got 2K restoration for What Have They Done to Your Daughters, Torso, Strip Nude for Your Killer. 2 versions of Torso, the original 94-minute cut, the 90-minute English cut, original lossless and Italian soundtracks. I think that gets counted as 2 versions of the movie in the original pressing. Rigid box packed with newly designed artwork by Haunt Love in a windowed Giallo Essentials collection slipcover. That's this. This is the hard box. This is the slipcover. Reversible sleeves for each film, including original and newly commissioned artwork by Adam Rabelais and Graham Humphreys. Here's my thing. This is what I want to know from you guys. I think that these are the same discs that we already have. I'm not even sure that the art is new. So I don't have the individual releases of these. You guys can help me out because I know a lot of you guys do. So like, What Have They Done to Your Daughters? Does it have the reversible artwork here? Because all the on-disc features, I think these are the exact same discs. But does it have the reversible artwork in the non-limited edition box? Or not box, the non-limited edition single versions of these, the single disc versions of these. All 3 of these have the reversible artwork. And they're loaded. They're absolutely loaded with stuff. I'll hold them up for you in just a second. I want to do the last reversible artwork here before I do that. So here's Torso. So there's the new art, the new hotness, and there's the original Italian art. And they do say not to be sold individually, so they did at least, this is newly printed. So that's why I'm wondering, did they add the reversible sleeves? You can let me know, and I appreciate it. You're also letting, you know what, you're letting your fellow fan know. Because people read the comments and they get information like that. So loaded with special features here. I'm going to hold it. Here's What Have They Done to Your Daughters. Hold that up. Looks like that's focused pretty well. So you can, lots and lots of stuff. Just lots of stuff. All right. Strip Nude for Your Killer. And dropping stuff left and right. And Torso. Hopefully that is focused well enough. So, if you don't own these movies already, all right, now I got to make sure. Disc 1 is What Have They Done to Your Daughters? Disc 2 is Torso, and Disc 3 is Take It All Off for Your Murder Baby. Take It All Off for Your Murder Baby. If you don't have these movies, it really is essential giallo. These are, as I say, these are some of the most widely recognized and celebrated entries in all. There's a lot of giallo box sets coming out right now, but this really does live up to that name of essential. So we'll talk about them later on. Also from Arrow Video, My Stepmother is an Alien. This is amazing. I love this movie. Lil Allison Hannigan, who would go on to Buffy fame and How I Met Your Mother, right? Is that what she was on? Yeah. Kim Basinger. Poor, like, Dan Aykroyd doesn't even make... Oh, he does. He's right there. Okay. Dan Aykroyd is in this as well. But they're really putting the center of focus there on Kim Basinger, as I guess you should. And if you don't like this artwork... We're gonna there's alternate artwork inside, so you know how we do. 3, 2, 1. There is the original VHS. This is how I discovered the movie in my local VHS rental store. Mr. Video, and then Blockbuster later. I think Blockbuster may have killed Mr. Video, but I don't remember what happened. This has got a ton of stuff on it, so I don't need to describe. Like, the premise is kind of in the title. Dan Aykroyd, Kim Basinger, she's an alien. Oh, the hilarity. You know, it's kind of a sitcom premise, but updated for the 80s. The 80s jet set. What, you know, the 60s is the jet set. What would the 80s set be? I don't know. The Trans Am set? I don't know. That's more 70s. I don't know. You let me know. That's for you guys. Hey, that's for you guys. It's a brand new 2K restoration from the original camera negative. 1080p presentation, right? Original lossless 2.0 stereo audio, optional English subtitles. All right. Brand new audio commentary by critic Brian Reisman. Cosmetic encounters. Directing My Stepmother is an Alien. A brand new interview with director Richard Benjamin. We got the original theatrical trailer and image gallery, and then reversible artwork featuring original and newly commissioned artwork by Colin Murdoch. So, if you love My Stepmother is an Alien, it has just been given a new 2K scan with a new interview with the director and a new audio commentary. So, calling all fans. I think it's great that, you know, the stuff that's coming out now, where we're getting regional horror and like Arrow did a super duper special edition version of The Last Starfighter, you know, because it already had a Blu-ray, which I thought was probably all it was ever going to get. And then Arrow was like, no, let's do a better Blu-ray with a bunch of cool new stuff. Like, it's amazing. We are living in, I say this a lot, and I'm going to continue to say it until there's no more negativity, which means I'll be saying it forever. We are living in the best of all possible futures for movie fandom. Who would have predicted that we would have things like this being served up to us each and every month? What a time to be alive. You know, there's a lot of negative stuff we could focus on, but look at the greatness. Look at the fun that's there if you just grab it. From Viavision Entertainment out of Australia, you got 2 releases here. The Magic Christian. By the way, both of these releases, well, I guess I should go ahead and tell you. We're doing the second half of Minder. So they've already released seasons 1 through 5. Yeah, seasons 1 through 5 of Minder. They have finished the series. This is seasons 6 through 10. Both of these play perfectly fine on my Region A player. So, The Magic Christian is a movie for British comedy fans, for Beatles fans. So it's Peter Sellers with Ringo, 1969, right? I think they filmed it in 68, released in 69. Something like, it's released in 69 at least. So Ringo's in this. He is sort of the, well, you know, there we go. The premise is the richest man in the world. He takes this guy under his wing. They conduct this big social experiment to see. The premise is that, like, everybody can be bought. Everybody will sell their virtues up the river if they can be bought. They can, you know, you appeal to greed, you appeal to whatever. We're all fallible. We're all driven by our basic wants and desires. Seems like a solid premise, right? But then you cast like some of the best Peter Sellers, Ringo Starr, Yul Brynner, Wilfred Hyde-White, Spike Milligan, John Cleese, Raquel Welch, Christopher Lee, Roman Polanski. Just gonna breeze right over that, and Richard Attenborough. Christopher Lee kind of doing a variation on Dracula. Of course, he was probably one of the best Draculas. Who's your favorite Dracula? Now, see, Thunderdome, Bela Lugosi, Christopher Lee. Christopher Lee's got the height, right? But Bela Lugosi has the accent. So Thunderdome, let them fight. And it's another Beatles connection is the theme song for this movie is Come and Get It, which performed by Badfinger, written by Paul McCartney. If you know what? I was going to sing it. I'm not touching that. I'm not touching that Apple Music nugget because I do not want to get any feedback from any, algorithm. It's not a person. It's the YouTube algorithm that looks for things. They look for words and lyrics in a sequence. And they're like, hey. So I'm not going to touch that. This does have, so this is an Australian release. I just want to make that clear. I think I said that right, but it's an Australian release. This got a US release on Blu-ray. There is a Blu-ray for this, but it's from Olive Films. It came out in 2013. I don't know if it's region locked or not. But if you are if you're in Australia, which a lot of you guys are, one of our biggest audiences is in Australia. So this is out now, and it's got if you love the Beatles, you probably already love the movie, right? Whoa! Minder Collection 2 is, again, I said the back half of the Minder series. Premise of the show is you've got this con man guy who basically hires a former boxer as muscle, as the enforcer, as the tough guy to kind of protect him and blah, blah, blah. And, hilarity premises ensue, hilarious premises. Dennis Waterman did not he didn't finish the series. I think he's in 3/4 or so, and they kind of pass the torch on. He leaves. He goes to Australia. This comes from Australia. Coincidence? He goes to Australia, and they kind of bring in. Is this his nephew? I think it's his nephew. Yeah, his nephew Ray, played by Gary Webster, comes in and kind of takes over the role. So this is a 17 DVD set. Everything's uncut, complete, and Viavision really loads up their DVDs with let me rephrase that. They put enough discs in so everything there's not a lot of compression, and they load up the special features. So you got high disc counts and lots of special features. Specifically, do you guys see all that? There's a ton of special features. Freeze frame in 3, 2, 1. Four audio commentaries, the feature-length specials, Minder on the Orient Express, and An Officer and a Car Salesman. The 1991 Christmas special, The Cruel Canal. Outtakes assembled by the production crew. Introduction by guest star Kenneth Cope to the episode Waiting for Godard. A little bit of give and take. An anti-drugs short film produced in 1986. Number, a short film promoting premium bonds featuring Dennis Waterman. Ernie. An episode of Man About the House is here, and even PDF DVD-ROM materials. I don't personally go look at them most of the time. I have for the I think it's down here, yeah. For the Viavision release of Hercules: The Legendary Journeys, I did pop in. There's one of the discs that has PDF files on it, and they're like the interactive CD-ROM stuff, and it took me back to the 90s. I was like, whoa, just dialing up, young people have no idea what I'm talking about. Anyway, so Minder, the back half of the series, I will be talking about it at some point. Oh no, but I don't know when that's gonna be. I'm glad that fell not at the beginning of the video. I'm just gonna start it over. All right, guys, what's going on? Welcome to from The Film Detective. We have two amazing. So we have The Fabulous Dorseys, which so much to say, and a box set, the Sherlock Holmes Vault Collection, which I'm halfway through it. I've watched the first 2 films. I have 2 to go. The Film Detective, sincerely, has become one of my most watched. Keep your eye on The Film Detective. They came hard. They come from, they would clean stuff up, they would restore things, and they would issue, DVD-Rs and some BD-Rs, burned on demand Blu-rays, burned on demand, DVDs. 2019, I think, is when it was. They were just let's kick it up a notch. And so they start doing these special editions, and they're factory pressed, and they have new features, new commentaries. Daniel Griffith from Ballyhoo Motion Pictures is, by the way, stay tuned. If you want to hear more about what's going on with Daniel Griffith and Ballyhoo, stay tuned. Wink, wink. It's already recorded. It's happening. they just like see Courtney Joyner's involved in this stuff. They're writing essays. Everything comes with a booklet with an essay inside about the movie that they're talking about. I mean, it is just next level, taking it to, you know, kicking it up a notch. And watch them. Watch them. They are on fire. They have a Hemi in under the hood, and they're, I don't know, I was trying to think of like a high-speed racing thing. Okay. So The Fabulous Dorseys is a 1947 movie that I think a lot of people may know. If you do know it, let's see if, yeah. If you do know it, you probably know it from like public domain collections. Pops up a lot in those 50 movie packs or like, you know, whatever, 100 movie packs. And it, because it's in the public domain, it's the story always with public domain stuff is because anybody can release it. You tend to see the same battered copies, third generation dubs, TV prints. You know, they would send like the 16 millimeter version converted to a tape for television. Somebody would rip that ends up on a public domain version. And there's been very little incentive for people to actually restore things because you're paying money for something that you're not necessarily going to get back. And if you do that, unless you can find a way to hold on to that remaster, someone else can profit off your work. At least that's the way I understand it. That's why you don't see a lot of public domain restorations from the studios. But Enter the Film Detective and The Fabulous Dorseys has never looked so good on home media. It is, I don't want to oversell it. It's not like it's a 4K, you know. Now it has been given a new, I think it's a new transferred in 4K from archival elements. But it's not like, you know, Spider-Man Ain't Never Getting Home, right? It's not going to look like a new movie, but it looks so good. Grain is back. Contrast is back. It's probably never looked this good since it aired on the screens in 1947. So this is the story of the Dorsey brothers, Jimmy and Tommy Dorsey. I've written a review for this at CerealAtMidnite.com. See, I said like, hey, keep your eyes peeled to CerealAtMidnite.com. It's already there. I already wrote the review. I compare them to the original Gallagher brothers from Oasis. Like, they were very talented musicians who just could not get along. Fist fight on the top of the roof of the Astor in New York City. And then they go their separate ways. They play themselves in this movie. They came back together, like at the height of their feud. They come back together to star as themselves in this biopic. And that's interesting. And they're not great actors, but that's not even the point. The Dorseys are a big deal. You know, they, I read the other day, okay, here's a fun fact for you. Here's a fun fact for you. If you're in the US, there's a commercial for Lincoln right now with using a song from the 40s, and it's the 50s. It's a most unusual day. It's a most unusual day. And it's from an old musical, but that singer was discovered by the Dorsey brothers. So they also gave a platform to Elvis. I mean, they were like at the center of pop culture. I think I read 110 million albums sold over the course of their career. So anyway, I'm spending too long on this, I understand. It looks great. It's got a new documentary, The Dorseys in Film, an original inserts essay by Don Stradley, full commentary track by author Jennifer Churchill, The Fabulous 40s, Big Bands on Screen, a brand new documentary from Ballyhoo Motion Pictures, which is essentially arguing that the big band music, at C. Courtney Joyner, arguing that the big band musical is its own subgenre. And you can't really argue it once it's been stated like this, because you're like, oh yeah, it totally is. This was like the MTV of the 40s, right? Movies like this, because it brought the concert to your local cinema. Great stuff. And I saved this for last because it's pretty amazing. The Sherlock Holmes Vault Collection brings together 4 Sherlock Holmes movies. We're talking early to mid 30s, pre-Basil Rathbone. I think a lot of people, when they think of classic Golden Age Sherlock, they're thinking of Basil Rathbone. This goes before that, and even before that in the special features, which is fascinating. But Arthur Wantner is the guy that plays Sherlock in 3 of the 4 movies, and the movies themselves, I should just say, the movies themselves are The Fatal Hour, Sherlock Holmes in The Fatal Hour, The Triumph for Sherlock Holmes. By the way, 1931. It's a talkie, don't worry. 1931, 1935 for The Triumph of Sherlock Holmes. 1933 1937 for Silver Blaze. All these are Arthur Wantner and Ian Fleming, not the author of James Bond, but another Ian Fleming as Dr. Watson. And then we have a different Sherlock here, Reginald Owen in A Study in Scarlet. But these are low-budget British movies made in the 30s, right? Very low budget. They almost fell. Very low budget. You're dealing with very degraded elements, right? They don't say what the source material for any of this stuff is. But if you know these movies, again, from public domain collections, they are staples of public domain collections. They don't look good, and they don't sound good, and they look very washed out. Obviously, you can usually tell when something's taken from videotape. So I don't know what the sources are from these. Your mileage will vary, and the 4 movies don't even look like they have varying quality themselves. Some of them look better than others, but they all look better than anything else. Again, serious restoration work has been taken with these releases. So they're now in the best possible... It's probably not going to get any better than this. I mean, really. We're talking about 85, 90-year-old movies. It's probably not going to get any better than this. And for the... It's like $35, or it was. I had pre-ordered it on Amazon. It was like $35. Great price for 4 movies, and there's a ton of stuff here. Also, so every movie has a booklet with an essay in it. Every movie has a booklet, which I know not everybody is super into, but I think is essential, especially when dealing with stuff like this. Classic films, historical films, and a reproduction of the lobby card for that movie, which I think is great. So special features for this, we got a commentary by author Jennifer Churchill, The Adventures of Sam Sherman Part 1, The Fatal Hour featurette. Sam Sherman, the legendary producer. Al Adamson fans know Sam Sherman because he's very involved with the Al Adamson oeuvre. He's in the documentary, right? There's that big box set that came. I think it's on the shelf over here. It is, but you can't see it. It's just over here. Sam Sherman. So part 1 is here. Sherlock Holmes and the Blue Carbuncle, a radio broadcast recreation. See previous comments about radio broadcast. Did you listen to them? A Black Sherlock Holmes is a 1918 silent cut. They got the cut version. It's black actors doing Sherlock Holmes, and it's kind of comedic, right? But it's here, and I'm like, holy cow, this is whoa. And then they have the uncut version, which is severely damaged. That's why there's a cut version, so that you can kind of watch it. The uncut version is just like, I mean, it's like it's been set on fire. It's barely hanging on. But they gave us both, so we could compare and contrast. Sherlock Holmes Baffled, a 1900 bonus short. The year 1900. If you think 1960 is an old movie, 1900. And then the essay by Don Stradley. For The Triumph of Sherlock Holmes. That's the second disc in the collection. Liner notes, audio commentary by Jason A. Ney. The Adventures of Sam Sherman Part 2. Copper Beaches is a 1912 bonus short. I think it runs 20 minutes if memory serves. And Blind Man's Bluff, a bonus TV episode from the Ronald Howard series, the Sherlock Holmes series, a full episode. That's here too. The third disc in the collection, Silver Blaze, we've got a commentary with writer-producer Fief. I can't remember. Somebody told me how to pronounce it, and I can't remember. Sutton and Mark Jordan Legan. The Adventures of Sam Sherman Part 3. Sherlock Holmes. 1928 Felix the Cat bonus shorts. Cousins of Sherlocko, a 1913. They're going back to like the early days of silence and stuff like that. And an essay by Don Stradley. The last disc in the collection, commentary with author, screenwriter Peter Atkins and David Breckman. Elementary Cinema, the first cinematic adventures of Sherlock Holmes, a Ballyhoo Motion Pictures documentary with Daniel Griffith, C. Courtney Joyner. Excellent. Mwah. Better than it had any right to be dealing with stuff. I mean, it's fantastic. Slick Sleuths, 1926 bonus Mutt and Jeff cartoon. And an essay by C. Courtney Joyner. So, friend of Serial at Midnight, someone I respect very, very deeply, C. Courtney Joyner. So, again, I don't want to be like, oh, you guys, they look amazing. They look like 90-year-old movies, but 90-year-old movies rarely look this good. One of the shorts on here, it's the 20-minute short that I was telling you about, it looks like it could have been shot yesterday. That's probably an exaggeration, but it looks so good. It was so well taken care of. I can't believe it. I mean, I cannot believe how good it looks. The grain, I mean, it's stunning. And it's all here. All this work in this one box set. It is amazing. I'll probably do a full review for this as well. Probably cover all four. There's not a whole lot to say about the movies. They are fairly straightforward in what they do, like an hour and 15 minutes. But, you know, sometimes I surprise myself. I'll be like, I don't think I have much to say about this. And it's like 8 paragraphs. So I'll probably cover all 4 movies and do an overview of this entire set in written form with all the details for CerealAtMidnite.com. Guys, that's going to do it for this, this new release video. What are you most excited about? What of this are you going to pick up? Let me know, and we'll continue the conversation in the comments below. So much to talk about, so much to be excited about, so much to be grateful for. Thank you very much. I appreciate you guys. Take care. Until next time, here's where to go and what to do.